Caola. This is a very simple and straightforward bill to amend the Constitution. It's the 35th Amendment to the Constitution to provide for a fixed Dáil term and to remove the power of the Taoiseach to decide the date of the dissolution. There is all the Taoiseach, indeed. The reason why this has been brought up by me is because it is a matter of great public concern, and this process has been brought into disrepute in recent times, particularly by the present Taoiseach. The equivocation which has been going on about the general election and the frenzy which has followed has been something which has persuaded many that the system that we operate, whereby the Taoiseach of this country has the power to dissolve the Dáil and actually to choose an election date, is unfair and gives an unfair advantage to the party in power. It also means.
Sorry, hold on. Please.
You were the people who were calling for a general election last week. You were the people who were so disappointed with what that man did last week as well. And you're the people who are cheering him so loudly today.
Would you mind staying quiet, please? Thank you.
If the Taoiseach had been able to make up his mind what day he was going to call this election, you wouldn't have been sitting there kicking up last week about it. And the Labour Party came in and contributed to this very unseemly decision, which was taken in the face of a media frenzy which the Taoiseach was conjuring up. You encouraged that, and now, today, you're looking for an election in February and not in November because the Taoiseach has the power, but equivocated. And what I'm asking is this: let's take it away from him. Let's
give it back to the people.
Yeah.
Give it to the people.
Thank you.
Democratic revolution. Come on now, democratic revolution.
Because you know.
Listen, will you please? I have to sit through this as well. Would you please proceed with your contribution? Thank you.
Can you hear?
It's very difficult, Caola, in this situation.
You're well able for it. Your neighbour next door is an expert at it, so get some tips off him. Thank you.
The problem here is an abuse of executive power, and it's an abuse of executive power which is embedded in the Constitution. And every Taoiseach has looked, as did this Taoiseach last week, at opinion polls and decided what the date of election would be, depending simply and solely on his own popularity. And what we have here is last week.
Stay quiet, please. Thank you.
The Taoiseach saying he was going to make the decision in the national interest. He decided in the national interest it was November one day, he decided it was in the national interest of February the next day. And what he was really deciding was it was in the interest of November, of Fine Gael, and then the Taoiseach came in and put a bit of pressure on him. He backed off to the disgust of his own backbenchers, and he decided it'll be February. This type of behaviour has got to stop. And there's only one way of doing it. It's removing that power from the Taoiseach. It's by amending the Constitution and having a fixed term. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Shall we just stay quiet, please? I'd like to ask, is the bill being opposed?
The bill is not being opposed, but I'd remind the Deputy that it is the President who dissolves the Dáil at the request of the Taoiseach. He can refuse that if he wishes.
I declare the motion for leave to introduce the bill agreed. Since this is a private member's bill, Second stage must, under standing orders, be taken in private members' time. The Deputy should therefore move that the second stage be taken in private members' time. Would you please move?
I move.
Is that agreed? It's agreed. Now we move on.